Capture life's moments like never before with Rockbrook Camera, Nebraska and Western Iowa's premier camera store since 1975. Rockbrook Camera is not just about selling you a camera. It's about helping you become a real photographer, recording your life and sharing it with others. Today's cameras are faster, easier to use, capable of shooting stunning video, and with film photography making a comeback, there's never been a better time to dive into the world of photography. Rockbrook Camera goes as fast or as slow as you want to go. You can try before you buy with camera rentals, or give that older generation camera in the used department a whole new journey. Find Rockbrook Camera, 1 block south of 168th and West Center in Omaha, 70th and Pioneers in Lincoln, and at rockbrookcamera.com. That's rockbrookcamera.com. Discover or rediscover your love of photography today at Rockbrook Camera. Great photography begins here.
What's up, guys? This is Osborne. You're listening to the Alien Strand podcast with Donald Ledesma. My new project, Genesis, is dropping May 8th on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. You can keep up with me at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at OsborneLid. That's with 3 T's. I'll see you guys there.
What you are about to hear are sounds from the Bigfoot or Sasquach. Across the creek at the big rocks. It's a hard act to follow.
He sounds like he talks to others and they talk to each other.
Yeah. Alien Strand Podcast.
What's up, everyone? This is Arizona Gallego, and you're listening to Alien Strand Podcast with Donald Ledesma. Check out my Facebook page at Arizona's Secret Backyard. Give me a like, share, and follow. I'll see you there.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Alien Strand Podcast. I'm your host, Donald Ledesma, and welcome to today's show. So, I have an exciting topic here that I've been wanting to do for quite some time, and it's on Bigfoot. Yes, you heard it right, Bigfoot. And because this creature is something of an unknown, because we still don't know exactly what it is or what it's about. We're still trying to figure it out. Many people have gone out there and tried to see what it is, and you've seen all kinds of shows on it. Nice, great documentaries on this topic. So I decided to bring it on Alien Strand today, and I'm glad you guys are here today. But before we get going, welcome to Alien Strand Podcast. This is episode number 41. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, Twitter, and alienstrand.com. Also, you can find us on Instagram. So we always post different things on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, also as well. So if you want to just go to those sites, you can check out, different things that are on there. You can go back many times on Alien Strand. You can go backwards as much as you can, and there's a lot of nice content in there for you guys to discuss and figure out exactly what's going on in those videos and photos of UFOs and aliens and clouds and just different stuff that's out there. So also, if you want to be a guest on the show, you can also call us at area code 361-245-8000. Again, that's 361-245-8000. That's if you want to be a guest on the show. If you got any stories you have, any encounters, UFOs, aliens, Bigfoot, spirits or hauntings or anything like that, give me a call. We'll get you on the show. Alien Strand here is about everything, science related, paranormal. We do it all here. So, because I think everybody's in same boat as I am, wanting to know, hey, what's going on out there? The things of the unknown. So, and as always, you can always catch Alien Strand, the podcast. We have our own app, so you can go to Google Play. You can download the app there, and it's a player, so you can always catch any of Alien Strand podcasts that are on there. All the episodes are on there. So if you have a chance, go to your Google Play. If you have an Android, download the Alien Strand podcast app, and that way you don't miss any episodes. You don't have to go to different platforms. You can it has its own platform there. So, and we did it for you guys, so you can interact. So be sure to register on it, and once you register, you'll be able to comment on it and follow and do a heart. So I really do appreciate you guys for hitting a like on there on Alien Strand. I've gotten a lot of nice comments on there. A lot of people starting to follow, and a lot of people are downloading the app. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate that. So, since all this stuff is starting to subside as far as the COVID, Alien Strand is going to start finishing up Alien Strand 3, which is the final small little episode that we have for the promotion there. You can find those little videos on Alien Strand on YouTube. You'll see the one and the second one. So we're working on the third one. It's going to be a little longer. It's going to be a great one. So, once we finish filming, we'll get that up, and I'll put it up on Alien Strand on Facebook and on YouTube right away, and you'll be able to check that out. Thank you guys for following there as well. So, we're going to get into this Bigfoot, encounter that Crystal has had. That's her name, and I met her through a group called Bigfoot the Truth, and that's where I met her at, and I saw a few of her stories, and that's a great group by any chance. If you have a chance, go check them out. It's called Bigfoot the Real Truth. Everybody's very courteous and kind to each other, and give themselves a lot of feedback like they do on Alien Strand. About giving feedback and what it is, and they don't have no trolls there, and I don't allow that on Alien Strand either. So go check that out if you have a chance. And so I contacted her, and she's a guest now. She wants us to tell her stories. So let's go ahead and get her on the phone right now, okay? All right, so Crystal, are you on the phone?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I got in touch with you through a group that I'm in, and you're in as well. It's called Bigfoot, The Real Truth. And on there, you know, I see a lot of stories that people put up, and you ended up writing a really good story that an experience that you went through. And, you know, you got a lot of comments, a lot of feedback on it. And then I approached you about coming on the show because not just that, but you had other encounters with the Bigfoot. And, you know, I wanted the people here on Alien Strand to know that we just don't talk about aliens and you know, outer space. We talk about things that are on this earth, especially, you know, a lot of things that people see. The Bigfoot is one of my favorite categories. It's on there. So, through your experiences, I know you've had a few. Can you kind of tell us exactly when this started for you?
Yeah, actually. So, you know, I've had, you know, as you said before, I've had several encounters, 4 to be exact. The first encounter I had actually was when I was right about 11 years old, almost. And, you know, I kind of grew up in the generation with the movie Harry and the Hendersons. I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Yes.
And that actually got me obsessed with Bigfoot at a young age. And so when I seen that first Bigfoot when I was a little, well, not really a little girl, but a preteen, you know, I knew exactly what I was looking at the minute that I seen him. And I then had 3 other encounters that basically happened later on in my adult life. So the first encounter, you know, just to kind of summarize it real quick, you know, my father was a log truck driver, and he worked in the industry for 40 years. Mm-hmm. And, excuse me, sorry about that. And he, you know, so it wasn't unheard of for my mom and I to join him, you know, to camp out on the job sometimes.
Right.
And so I can't give you an exact location because I was so young, but where this took place was about 35 miles out of Fort Jones, California. Just to kind of give you an idea. Basically, it's a small town, you know, it's in the middle of no man's land. Right. And it's in part of Northern California. Uh-huh. And so it was late at night, probably about 11, 12 o'clock. Both my parents were sleeping, and I was in the camper reading a book. And all of a sudden, I got this real strong odor. And I just kind of stopped and thought for a second. I was like, and the second clue was, all the crickets and the frogs got completely quiet, and I was like, okay, there's something in the area, you know, because I was born and raised in the woods, and I know exactly what to hear for and look for.
Right.
And so I went ahead and turned off my light, closed my book, and I decided to look out the window to see if I could see anything. And I got very lucky that night, you know, because there's definitely no city lights out there, but it was a full moon. And so I looked, and I seen this creature, well, not creature, but this bipedal, what I thought was a bear at first, but it was bipedal, and it was basically looking around. And my, you know, basically what I thought he was probably thinking was he was scoping it out, you know, scoping the scenes out to make sure that he could cross and get to where he needed to go. And so what I noticed was he was real tall, real broad shoulders. He was huge. And he actually had a deer laced around his neck, and he was holding the legs.
Really?
And obviously the deer, yeah, it was really weird. So it's kind of like, the best way I could describe it is, you know how you put a neck pillow behind your neck?
Yes.
And you loop it around? Mm-hmm. This was the way the deer was on this Bigfoot's neck. Wow. And so what I seen was the Bigfoot came out from behind the tree, and he went across the clearing and a logging road and up a steep bank like it was nothing. The bank was almost straight up, and he basically just took it like it was nothing. And I didn't say anything to anybody. And then the next day I went out and I took my dad's tape measure, and I went on the tree that he was behind, and I seen the branch, and so I measured it, and he was about 7.5 feet tall. And I found footprints that were about 18 inches long and about 6 inches wide. And again, I didn't say anything to anybody. And later that day, some of my dad's coworkers and their families were up there with them. And they said, hey, let's go hang out at the lake, which was about 3 miles up the road. Mm-hmm. And there was probably a group of about 20 of us between the kids and the adults. And we were just, hanging out, fishing, visiting, just having fun. And, the afternoon and the early evening went fine. And then right about when it was hitting twilight, we started hearing grunts and growls, and rocks were starting to be thrown at us. And, we just kind of, everybody was kind of like, what's going on? And what caused us to basically everybody to pack up and leave was a boulder came about 6 inches from hitting a kid that was about my age. And everybody just kind of stopped and looked and said, screw this, we're getting out of here. And we all packed up and left. Well, my mom and I left the next day to go back home. And, my dad and his coworkers had to stay on the work site a few more days. And nobody experienced anything after that, but they did find some more footprints. And they heard more growls and stuff like that. And that was basically essentially what happened with my first encounter.
Wow. So let me ask you a question. So when you first initially saw it, did it look straight directly at you, or did y'all kind of like look at each other, or it just kind of was walking by? Because, this thing must have been massive to have a deer around its shoulders, especially, I'm a hunter too, just like you are. And, when you have to, you have to dress the animal before you can carry it, because it's heavy. So, did it see you by any chance?
Honestly, it probably knew that I was there, because let me tell you one thing, these creatures are not stupid by any means. So it probably knew that I was there, but it did not look right at me, no.
Wow. And that boulder that was thrown, how big was that boulder that you think it was?
So it was about the size of a basketball.
Okay.
But obviously it was a lot heavier. If I had to estimate, myself personally, if I had to estimate like the weight, it was probably a good 150 pounds.
That's pretty heavy still, for anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
So after that, when was your next encounter after that?
Okay, so my next encounter was...
Come ring in the new year in Denver. Celebrate with parties, champagne toasts, live music, and dazzling fireworks. Catch the firework displays from the 16th Street Mall at both 9 p.m. and midnight. And come check out the incredible Mile High Tree, presented by Xfinity, a free one-of-a-kind lights experience. Enjoy sparkling new adventures for a spectacular new year, only in the Mile High City. Plan your celebration and find great hotel packages at milehighholidays.com/NYE.
All aboard for your chance to win $1,000 every week until December 28th. That's right, $1,000 cash just in time for the holidays. To hop on board, just head to churchillmortgage.com and punch your ticket to the Churchill Express giveaway. Visit churchillmortgage.com for your chance to win big.
This is a paid advertisement. NMLS ID 1591. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Equal Housing Lender. 1749 Mallory Lane, Suite 100, Brentwood, Tennessee 37027.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Let's see. That was right around September of 2009. Okay. And this happened in Southern Oregon, where I was born and raised. And there, ironically enough, there's actually a Bigfoot trap in Applegate, Oregon. Wow. And you can actually Google, you can actually Google it, and it's actually been there for quite some time. I think since it was either the 60s or the 70s. And I was born and raised in this area, and I never had the curiosity to go scope it out until one day, it was my day off while my friends were busy, and I had nothing else to do. And I said, well, I don't want to sit here at the house, so here, I'm going to go check out this Bigfoot trap. Why not, right?
Right.
So I went ahead and made the drive, and I made the short hike from the picnic and parking area to the Bigfoot trap. And, and I just kind of inspected it out, got a couple pictures, and, it's nothing real interesting. It's just like, basically it's just a wooden box type of thing with a green crate sliding door. It's just basically a tourist trap, kind of an attraction, so if you ever want to go see it, there you go. Kind of,
how
maybe
big is
help
that?
you pass the day.
How big is that?
What's that?
How big is that trap?
It's, so height-wise, I would say it's probably about maybe 8.5 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's probably, for depth, it's probably about 8 feet. And then, like, length, I would say it's probably another 10 feet if I had to estimate.
Okay. Wow.
It's a pretty good size.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Wow.
Yeah, and so, it's actually such a big tourist attraction and stuff like that the local Forest Service actually started restoring it back in 2006.
Wow. So then after that, you were, like, just wandering out there in the woods, or what happened?
Well, yeah, so, when I got to the Bigfoot trap in Applegate, it was probably about, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's September, so there's still quite a few hours of daylight. So I decided to continue up the trail and, just kind of go out for a walk, enjoy nature and everything like that. And, so when I was hiking in for, I would say a good hour and a half, the forest creatures and stuff were making their noises and stuff like that.
Right.
And, and I never had the feeling that I was being watched or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So once I looked at my clock and I seen that it was about 6:30, I decided to head back. And then that's when I noticed that I was no longer alone. The hairs on the back of my neck kind of raised on end, and I could hear some movement, like twigs breaking and on the sides of me, and I was like, okay.
Wow.
And so I looked, and I actually seen one to the right of me, and I'm pretty sure that was a female. Again, don't quote me on that because I didn't exactly get a good look at that one. I could just see the features of it, and if I had to estimate the size, I would say she was probably about 6, maybe 6.5 feet tall, and I would probably say maybe about 500 pounds. Again,
Wow.
and it might have been a teenager or a young adult too.
Right.
And then I looked to the other side of me, and that's when I seen one that was a little bit larger. This one was definitely a male. Because I could see like the muscle structure and like, have you ever seen the Patterson Gimlin film?
Yes.
Oh, so in that film, I'm pretty sure you probably seen the breakdown of it. You could see the female's breast on that one, Patty.
Yes.
Is what they call her.
Mm-hmm.
And so on this male that I seen on the left, there was no breast. So that's kind of how I came to the conclusion that it was a male.
Okay. So
yeah, and so there wasn't. Go ahead.
So what people don't understand is, a lot of people don't understand about Bigfoot is that this thing is massive. I'm talking about, like, when you say 500 pounds, people think, well, how can somebody be that heavy? They're thinking of an obese person or something like that. But no, it's like they have broad, wide shoulders, and it's huge, and their bone structure is huge. So I believe everything you're saying as far as the weight, the width, the massiveness of these beasts, of these Bigfoots, of how they look. Okay, did you see like a color of them? Were they different colors, or they're just dark color?
Yeah, so the one that I'm assuming is a female, she was a medium brown, and then the male that I noticed on the left of me, he was either a super dark brown or almost black.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So
yeah, and then there was also a third one behind me, and I didn't get a look at that one because I was too afraid to turn around, but I just knew that they were there because I could hear them.
So you were walking back to your car, or you had like a faster stride, just trying to get the heck out of there? I mean, is that what you were doing at the time?
Yeah, pretty much, because like once I realized that they were there, I kind of said in a calm manner, and I said, "Hey guys, I'm headed back to my car now to get out of your territory. So I'm just going to get out of here as soon as I can. I'm not here to hurt you." And so, I kind of quickened my pace a little bit, but I wasn't running. I was just walking at a brisk pace, because I didn't want to trigger that, the predator instinct. When something's running, you chase after it. I wasn't trying to, trying to strike that. Right. So, and I just kind of kept walking at this brisk pace and stuff. And they were moving with me, they were kind of walking with me and stuff. And I just kept continuing to talk to them in a calm manner and say, "I'm not here to hurt you. I'm on my way to my car." And pretty much the next thing that I knew is I was already basically at the picnic and parking area where my car was. Right. And they stayed with me the whole time, because like I said, I could hear them, and I just knew that they were there. And I kind of caught glimpses of the two that were on the sides of me every now and then. And then the next thing I know, I was basically at the picnic area, and they were gone. It's like they vanished into thin air.
Wow! So
I didn't even hear them go away.
I bet you that was kind of scary. It was probably a family then. So it was probably the male, the female, and maybe their teenager that was with them. So they're probably just as curious to see what you were doing as much as you were, because I've heard a lot of stories about the Bigfoot that a lot of them are not really super aggressive, and unless you go too close to their area. So maybe they were just around doing something, and caught you walking around there, make sure that you possibly just got out of their space, probably what happened to you. So on your next, so then you have a third encounter, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do.
Okay, so what happened on this one? This one's going to be a little bit more intense.
Yeah, so, just kind of warn the people that are listening right now, this is pretty much an attack situation, so just kind of listen at your own risk type of situation. So this one actually happened in October of 2015, and I was going to a hunting spot that my family has been using for multiple generations. And what I mean by that is going clear back to my grandfather on my dad's side. And, and at this point I had been using this hunting spot for essentially at this point, about 30 years. And I had never seen any signs of Bigfoot in the area. I never seen footprints. I've never seen branches, being broken, or any kind of shelters or anything. I just never seen signs of Bigfoot at this particular spot. And just to kind of give you the folks an idea of where it is, it's just located out of Prospect, Oregon, in the Cascade Mountains, about 20 miles. Wow. And I'm not going to disclose the exact location, because due to the fact of how aggressive and territorial that these two Bigfoot I encountered were. And basically I went up there, I went up there to go hunting and see what I could find and stuff like that. And just a couple of side notes, we did have family friends that used the same hunting spot. And I think the wildlife has probably moved on from this particular area, because I think the Sasquatch have probably made this their territory or whatnot. Because, when I was younger and into my teen years and well into my 20s, my family and I and my family friends, we always had successful hunts in that area. And that's just kind of why we always return to that spot. Wow. And, and then the last successful hunts that I knew about was, we had a family friend get a 6-point buck in the area about 8 years ago. And then the one previously to that was my dad and a friend of his. They ended up getting another buck, I would say about 10 years ago.
Wow. So you're not a stranger to that area. In other words, you've been going there for years. It's been a family area to go hunting. So it's people have been around that area. So let us know. Tell us, how does this story change for you?
Yeah. So basically, how it changed for me was, I went up to the spot one time by myself, just for the weekend or whatnot. I went up there on a Friday morning and I was going to leave on Sunday. And I had ended up spending like 2 or 3 days there, and I didn't actually see any signs of Bigfoot being in the area until the second night. And the second night, I could hear wood knocks. I heard, a little bit of chatter and grunts and stuff like that. And, and I basically told them, hey, I know you guys are here. I don't mean you any harm. I'm just trying to get myself some food, and I'll be out of your guys' way in a couple of days, and I went to my tree stand on the second day, and when I came back, my whole entire camp was destroyed. And what I mean by that is, like, I had some food hanging up in the tree. It was gone. Wow. All my equipment, my ice chest, my coolers and everything, all the contents were scattered all throughout my campsite, or they were gone. My tent was shredded and just ripped all to heck, and the only thing that was left was my sleeping bag. Wow. And and I kind of yelled at them, and I said it wasn't fair to them to do that to me and stuff, especially since I didn't mean them any harm and I wasn't going to do anything to them. And basically some of the events that took place through the night was, they threw logs at me, they threw stones at me, they would grunt and growl at me, and and I kind of went through and said, I'm leaving at first light. You guys kind of made your point, but it's dark. I can't see. I'll be leaving first thing in the morning. Right. And they kind of backed off, and then they started throwing rocks at me again at another point in time. And then I told them to kind of a little bit more I don't want to say me, but more aggressive, kind of standing my ground with these guys. Right. And so when I told them that I was leaving at first light, I was literally woke up at first light, and to this very horrendous growl. And really? I sat up real quick, looked up, and I seen a huge male. And this male was the biggest Bigfoot I had ever seen. Oh, he was easily 9 foot, and he was probably about 800 to 1,000 pounds. Jesus. He was huge. If I had to estimate his shoulder width, it was easily 5 to 6 feet wide, easily. Jesus. And yeah, he was a big guy. Wow. He was huge, and that's just putting it mildly. Yeah. Wow. And and basically what I woke up to was him growling, and he was like, the best way I can describe it is the ground was shaking. Have you ever seen the movie Jurassic Park?
Yes.
And when you hear the dinosaurs coming up behind the people and stuff like that?
Yes.
That's exactly what it sounded like. And that's what I woke up to.
Like
and
a
this
booming
guy
sound.
was just... What's that?
Like a booming sound, like a boom, boom.
Yeah, exactly. It was like boom, boom, boom. And this guy, he was literally just mowing through the trees, through the trees. And I sat up, looked, and I was like, oh, crap. And I hurried up and grabbed my rifle, and I just started hauling butt down the mountain to get out of there. Wow. And I just kept running, and this whole entire time, all I can hear is this guy just growling at me, and just literally this reverberation of footprints behind me. Right. And so finally, when I got about halfway down the hill, I had enough, and right. I had turned around, and I had this guy in the crosshairs of my scope. Wow. And he was probably, I would say, roughly 30 feet behind me. And I was getting ready to pull the trigger, and then I heard more footsteps, and they were actually coming to the side of me. Oh, and that second one, I didn't even know he was there until I heard him. Wow. And basically, I kind of stopped, and I was like, explicit content here, yes. and stuff. And I basically dropped my rifle down, and I just started skedaddling down the hill real quick, and I'm not going to lie. I got a little extra cushion for the pushing and stuff, and I was literally running down there as fast as I could. Wow. And when I got to my car, these two, I'm pretty sure that they were both males. They, when I got in my car, and I basically just kind of stopped and looked for a second, and they were still in the trees, but I knew that they were there, and I could catch like little clips of them, throughout the trees and stuff like that. And when I got in my car, both of them let out this loud, very, very loud growl and a howl. Yes. And the howl you could hear through the whole entire canyon.
Wow, I bet you that was echoing. Yeah.
Yeah, it literally reverberated through my whole entire chest. Wow. I think it's, basically scared me so bad that my heart jumped out of my chest and kind of gave me a minor heart attack. And basically I pretty much, hauled butt out of there, and I got out of there as quick as I could.
Wow. So let me ask you, just me personally, on the rifle, did you go back and go get it, later or something since you dropped it?
Oh, no, I never dropped it. I just basically put it down and slung it back over my shoulder.
Oh, on the sling. So, okay, gotcha. Okay, I was thinking, wow, she dropped the rifle, probably went back later to go get it. But so when you saw these two Sasquatches going at you, or hearing them behind you, when you turned around and looked, could you see, did you see the color of them, or the structure that they were, or could you see their eyes by any chance?
Yeah. So you have the forehead, and then you have like another. I want to call it a ridge brow. Basically like where if you look at a human, where their eyebrows are, right. And it protruded out of their forehead a little bit further. I couldn't give you like an estimated size, right. And then you have the two eye sockets. Wow. And the male that I was able to see, both of his eyes, there was no white in them, and they were very, very dark in color. They were basically black, and pretty much the expression that I seen on his face was like, rage, anger. And he basically just wanted me the heck out of there. Wow.
I mean, I'm sure, that scared the heck out of you. You probably couldn't sleep that night.
Oh, yeah.
So,
no, to be honest with you, I still have nightmares because of that situation.
I believe it.
And it's been 5 years almost.
I believe it. I mean, I would too, something especially that intense, that's some scary stuff right there. It's people don't understand that. These Sasquatches or Bigfoot, I mean, they can be very territorial, and by their massive size, they can really hurt somebody, or it's their it's almost like it's their land. You know what I mean? We're kind of like walking in their space, so and I'm sure that those big ones were alpha males, to do that.
Oh yeah.
So and then you have another story here, which I'm going to tell my audience. This one's a little different, but you have a fourth encounter, and this is something in a different realm that you're not going to expect. So tell us the fourth story that you have.
Okay. Yeah. So this actually, I lived in Central Ohio for about 3 to 4 years, and this is where this encounter took place. It actually took place at a cemetery that I frequented a lot. Mm-hmm. And the name of the cemetery is actually called Woolly Burger Cemetery. Mm-hmm. And the reason why is because of basically a Bigfoot ghost. And, just to kind of tell you, I'm still not to this day 100% sure if it was a Bigfoot ghost, mm-hmm. or a white Bigfoot being able to have the cloaking ability.
Wow. Yeah.
So my first encounter with what's that?
I've heard that before, that people have said that they can almost cloak themselves, because one minute you see them, the next minute they're gone. Within a second or two. Yep. When they turn around. So no, go ahead, continue.
Thank you. And so again, that's what I'm not sure what exactly it was. And so my first encounter with, I'm just going to call it the Bigfoot ghost, it was my first time ever going to the cemetery. And I was there with some friends, and they had actually grown up and gone to the cemetery multiple times. And so my first encounter there with the Bigfoot ghost was, we were just all kind of walking around checking out tombstones and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I could hear twigs in the in the surrounding trees being broken, and basically something just kind of following me along. And I look over and I basically see a Bigfoot that is white. And the friend that was with me seen the same thing, and she got super scared. She ended up screaming, and we all had to leave that night.
Wow.
And so my second encounter was I had actually gone to the same cemetery on a Halloween night to do a Ouija board session. And I know, there's a lot of stigma to go with the Ouija boards, but that's a topic for a different time.
Oh, yeah.
And so
we're open-minded. We're open-minded. We're open-minded here, right, so exactly. Yeah, anything goes. Go ahead.
That's awesome. But so I had my digital camera rolling that night, and I also had an EVP recording going on.
Nice.
And so, and basically I kind of sat through and went through my session, asked my questions, and, just kind of did my thing. And I ended up closing my circle, and as I was leaving, I actually seen the Bigfoot ghost, and, he was just he was observing me and kind of seeing what I was doing, and, it was more of a curiosity thing. Mm-hmm. And so he didn't really mess with me that time, but when I had gotten home later that night to review my footage, so on the EVP, I actually was able to catch a couple of howls, some chatter that sounds like Bigfoot,
right.
And then there was something else too. I don't exactly remember what it was. I think it was just like maybe a couple of grunts or something like that. Mm-hmm. Oh, and then there was a couple tree knocks. And then on my digital camera, it actually recorded, and it actually got the Bigfoot ghost in 3 different frames. Wow. And unfortunately, when I broke up with my ex, it was a situation. It was I had to leave a lot of stuff behind, so I actually lost all that footage, which kind of sucked.
Wow.
Yeah. Trust me, I've already tried to get it back, but yeah, it's already gone, which is unfortunate. And then the third encounter, I had actually gone out there, I wasn't out there for a special reason. I was just out there to kind of check things out and read a couple more tombstones and stuff like that. And but this was a different, the energy there was different this round. It had a very, very malevolent feeling to it, kind of. And I actually had seen, what's that?
Like heaviness, like a heavy feeling?
Yeah, like a heavy feeling. That's a very good way to put it. Yeah. Very heavy feeling, like, that I shouldn't have been there that day. And so as I was getting ready to leave, and please keep in mind, listeners, I had gone to the cemetery, I don't know, probably at least 100 different times at this point in time. And I had never experienced anything negative or malevolent there, never. Okay. And so as I was getting ready to leave, I seen a shadow figure, and it was just a very deep, dark black, and it just resonated evil and negative, or negativity and malevolence. Like, I can't explain how evil, or how much evil I felt coming off of this thing.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, it's time for me to get out of here. And I was actually literally running down the road to get to the main road and to where my car was parked. And I think I had crossed the boundaries where this shadow figure was able to cross. And the reason I say that is because I got past the threshold, and it was almost like this the shadow figure it hit a wall that it could see, but I couldn't. It was kind of, to express it really quick, it was kind of like when a bird flies into a glass wall, or a sliding glass door. That's exactly how it was with the shadow entity.
Wow.
And when I realized that I was past the threshold, I actually seen the Bigfoot ghost come to the side of me, and it actually chased the shadow figure away. And that was the last time I had ever seen the Bigfoot ghost.
So when it chased it away, did it make any noise, or you just kind of saw it like push itself towards that direction, and that black entity kind of left the area?
So basically what it did was it came to the side of me out of the forest, and onto the road, and the shadow entity had actually let out a howl that would be equivalent to a banshee. But obviously it's not a banshee because banshees resonate good. And basically, like, it was almost like the shadow figure was scared of the Bigfoot. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
The shadow figure, it could see the Bigfoot ghost, and it kind of looked like, it kind of like its energy changed. I don't know how to describe that. And basically the shadow figure just kind of disappeared all of a sudden. So, it kind of brings a question to mind to me is like, is this shadow entity like, something that is bound to this graveyard for some odd reason, and is the Bigfoot ghost or the, the white Bigfoot or whatever you want to refer to it as like a protector of the visitors that go to the cemetery? It's kind of weird, I know, and it's kind of out there, but it's the truth, I promise.
No, I understand. I understand completely. Because sometimes, in the spirit world, as like they say, you could have there could be a guardian because you have encountered possibly these Bigfoot or Sasquatch. It could have taken the form of that because that form is because it's so big and kind of it scared you at one time. It probably used that form to scare that black entity away. And, I mean, it's a possibility that it could have happened that way. Okay, let me ask you this question. Okay, so do you believe that when you encountered Bigfoot before, that you possibly have like a aura or like a scent that they're kind of like attracted to you? Because I mean, you've already had several encounters. I know of a lot of people have had encounters before, but you've already had a few in your lifetime, and you're still young. But I mean, that's quite a bit. So, do you believe that you have something like that connected to them in a way?
Honestly, yeah, I actually do agree with that. Because I am a practicing pagan, I'm not going to lie about that. And, I've had a lot of encounters, paranormal, if that's what you want to call it, kind of surrounding a little bit of everything, really. And I've been having those encounters since I was, a little girl, when I was as far back as I can remember, to the ages of 3 and 4. And I think these Bigfoot, they probably can sense something about people, whether it's, maybe being kind-hearted, open-minded, accepting of different things, or, of things that we can't explain, if that makes sense.
It makes sense.
And I think, the Sasquatch can probably sense that about me, and that's why they're not afraid to show themselves to me.
Do you think that these, in your opinion, these Sasquatch or Bigfoot, do you think that they're possibly a different kind of species, as far as like it's non-human? You know what I mean? Non-human, like like maybe extraterrestrial, possibly. I've heard a lot of theories that they possibly were, dropped down here a long time ago, and they've just been there ever since, because they've been there since the dawn of time almost. The natives used to talk about them. You know what I mean? And that's where they would get the Sasquatch name from. So, I mean, do you think that it's possibly that?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely, because I've had so many dealings with these guys and stuff, and I've actually seen the quote paranormal unquote abilities that these guys have, just prime example with the cloaking. And yeah, absolutely. I do think, to be honest with you, I think they're more of a hybrid creature. And what I mean with that is they are probably, I actually read an article where the Bigfoot actually have female human DNA in them, but the male portion is unknown. So I think, if anything, they're probably a hybrid creature between humans and extraterrestrials. That is what I personally think.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I believe that too. It's a possibility. Now these days, I mean, we're seeing plenty of UFOs in the skies. We're seeing all these aliens, that they're seeing now, and then now I think the Bigfoot activity has kind of picked itself up a little bit more. So let me ask you this question. I mean, now that you've encountered these Sasquatch, Bigfoot, are you more interested in kind of like doing more investigating on them? In other words, just trying to find out more information about them, or being out there a little bit more, recording them. Is that what you're possibly going to be doing from now on?
Honestly, probably not. And the reason why I say that is, I'm kind of going based on my third encounter when I was basically flanked and kind of not really attacked, but chased out, due to the fact that, humans do not have enough knowledge about these creatures to totally understand them. I think that they do have personalities and their own thought process, and we just don't have enough knowledge to know who are the, basically the gentle, accepting, curious kinds, as versus the ones that are aggressive and territorial and just don't want anything to do with humans. And personally, I don't blame them. And my personal advice to people is don't purposely go out and seek Sasquatch. And the reason being is because, again, you never know which one is going to be curious and accepting, or the one that is actually going to eventually, attack you and possibly even kill you. You know what I mean with that? Right. And so, if you're in the woods and you accidentally stumble upon one, or if one shows itself to you, that's cool, great. You can say that you have a good story to tell and a good encounter. But personally, no, I would not purposely go out to seek these guys out.
Right. And I say the same thing on a lot of my episodes about the aliens, a lot of people want to seek them out, but you just never know which one you're going to encounter, because it could be a good one, there could be a bad one. And just like the Sasquatch, very unpredictable. You don't know exactly what they're going to do next, because they can't really say, hey, get out of here, or they can't really speak to you in that way. I mean, the only way that you're going to get it out or figuring out like what you went through is by hearing the loud grunts, the yells, the pounding, the rocks throwing. That's pretty much telling you, hey, get out of my space. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
And I think those are the signs that they're doing. But Crystal, thank you for being on the show, and thank you for telling your story, because it's difficult for a lot of people to tell their stories, and because, it's just one of those things that, well, should I believe it or not? I believe you 100. I believe you 100%, because, you're telling these stories in very detailed, formats, and you even have, people can find you as well, right? On Facebook. You have a Facebook channel, and you also have a YouTube channel. So, I believe that, where can they find you at?
Yeah, so you can actually, again, as you said, you can find me on Facebook or YouTube, and it's called Verexen and Haunts, and that's actually spelled VERHEXEN, and then the word haunts.
Haunts, right? Like haunt you, right? I got perfect. So, I'm like I said again, they can find you there. They can watch your videos there. I saw one of your videos where you do tell this story, and you have other stories as well, and I just thank you for being on the show today and for calling me back after I approached you about being on the show, and because I thought it was important. I thought it was important for people to hear it from you and to somebody that has personally encountered these creatures and have been literally in front of them. So, Crystal, thank you so much for being on the show today, and keep on pushing it out there. And what we're going to do here on Alien Strand, we're going to get people to your site, visit you on YouTube. I'm going to put a link to this podcast of both of your pages, so people can go to there and they can find you there as well. So be expecting more traffic to your site. And like I said, thank you so much for being on the show today. And I appreciate you, and like everybody else here on the show appreciates you as well. So if you have any more encounters, you want to get back on the show, you have anything different, I put everything out there that's completely different sometimes. So if you ever want to, just give us a call back at any time, or call me, and we'll get you back on the show again. Okay? So,
all right, sounds good. And thank you for the invitation to speak. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. You have yourself a good evening, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Wow. All I can say is wow. What a great story. She told several stories. And, it's, I'm just glad that she was able to put these stories out on Alien Strand. And, just like I said before, I thought it was important for these stories to come out, because she witnessed a lot of these things, and it happened to her on these encounters. And, what better way to hear a story than somebody has experienced it themselves? So thank you, Crystal, for being on the show today, and for sharing your stories to Alien Strand. We really do appreciate you very, very much. And if you haven't gotten into Bigfoot, the very first footage that came out was in 1967, and that was called the Patterson Bigfoot. We talked about that, Crystal and I, and that happened in North Carolina. And so that was in the area of Bluff Creek, right? So these guys filmed this Bigfoot walking across, and there's one still image that you'll see. I think it's still image 137, and that's the very famous photo that you see of that Bigfoot. And they found out it was a female because of the breasts. And ever since I saw that as a child, I saw that footage, and then I continued on seeing it later on, and now with all these documentaries, it got me really intrigued in looking a little deeper into Bigfoot. And I'm glad that she was able to tell the story, more details that I haven't even heard before. Not like that. And that third one was very intense. So, but, she was able to get her story out. And, you guys understand a little bit more, because this show, Alien Strand Podcast, is an FYI. It's for you guys. So you can get more information on everything that's going around that we just don't understand sometimes, right? So I put these stories out for you guys, and for you guys to share as well. Because it's not difficult for people to come out and speak about their encounters or things like that, because they don't want to get judged. But you know what? I applaud these people that do this, that come out and they say something because they want to tell their stories and they want the information out there to you. And it helps other people document these incidents a little bit more, and they can understand and get a better grasp on exactly what this Sasquatch Bigfoot is and what it's about. And I just thank you guys for listening to today's episode. Very good episode. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this episode very, very much. And not that I don't enjoy all the other ones. I enjoy them all. This one had a lot of information for you. I hope you got a lot out of it. Thank you for listening to Alien Strand Podcast. You can find us on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, and on YouTube. You can find us on alienstrand.com. You can also download the Alien Strand app. A lot easier for you to listen to the shows. That way you can comment on them, and I'll reply back to your comments on them. Hit me a like, put a star, hit a heart, follow me, and share it with your friends. And like I said, I really do appreciate you, even my international friends that are listening as we speak. So until then, you guys have yourselves a good day. Have yourselves a good evening. And a good night.
Executives, Coastal Bend, and Corpus Christi, Texas. And you're listening to the Alien Strand Podcast with Donald Ledesma. Buying or selling, visit me at kellygreenrealtor.com or visit me on my Facebook page, Kelly Green Realtor. See you there.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.